is getting cold. Today we are talking about self-love and mindfulness, the connections between the two, and how we can use mindfulness to practice self-love. Because if you are anything like me, you are on this journey and you are learning to love yourself and learning to practice it. And like, you watch all the videos and you do all the things, but sometimes it can just be a doozy. Alright, I thought it would be nice to just talk with you guys about some of the things that I've been doing to helping me to learn to cultivate a practice of self-love, and hopefully give you guys some inspiration on things that you can do in your own life as well. So, if you're interested in all of this, make sure you hit the subscribe button, grab something warm to drink, and some fuzzy socks if you're into that. And let's get on into this video. So here's the thing. It feels like I get on this kick of self-love every so often, and then halfway through or a year through or a couple of years go by and I just feel like I completely fall off and I'm back to square one. I really struggle with making it a consistent everyday process, or something that I think has been a roadblock for me that I came to this week. It was in one of my journaling sessions, and after I had a really kind of just day where I felt completely drained and I wasn't being productive and all of the things. And so I had a journaling session and I came to the realization that part of why I had felt so drained was that I was spending so much mental energy into okay, I need to do X, Y, and Z and then I'll love myself. Or I need to, accomplish these goals and vision board everything out and do all the things, and then I will be happy, and then I will love myself, and I will have this practice and figure it out. What I'm realizing is while I'm a huge proponent, well, I'm a huge fan of vision boarding and dreaming and setting goals and all of those things. That's really important. But I also think that I have attached my self-love practice to those things. But what has happened is that it's become this spiraling thing, and it's become just another task to accomplish in order to, accomplish my goals or my dreams or whatever. And then it loses some of its power as a loving thing, because as long as I'm trying to work myself into self-love, I'm missing the mark. And so this is where I kind of have come to not a conclusion, but kind of this new point in my life where I'm interested in, what does a mindful self-love practice look like? What does it mean to not love myself into a new version of myself, but rather love myself as I am in this moment? Yeah. And so out of that has come a renewed commitment to a renewed exploration in mindfulness and mindfulness practices, and really learning more and more about mindful self-care. And so what I wanted to do, like I said, is just share with you guys some of the resources and the things that I've been doing that have been working for me, and see if they resonate with you, and see if there are things that you, or resources or books that you're reading that you would recommend as I journey through this process and figure out this whole thing. And so the first thing that I have been doing a lot more and committed myself to is cooking. Realizing for so long I have had this anti-relationship with cooking. Truthfully, I don't completely enjoy it. I'm more of a I want to order in kind of person. But I recognize that there's something really powerful about preparing a meal for yourself. And so I've been doing that. And one of the things that I've been using is the HelloFresh box subscription. And I'm not sponsored or anything like that, but I have loved it. It's helped the process to be a little bit less strenuous and more like I can just kind of enjoy and learn how to nurture myself and be gentle with myself in this way. There's something so nurturing and tender about it that I'm learning to love and I'm learning to experience. And so it's something that like I just started, I think probably like 2 weeks ago, but really like making it a practice has felt really cool, and it always feels like, wow, I made that. Like, oh dang, that was good. Like I made that. And so it's just been another one of those things that has been helping me a lot. Another resource that has been helping me a ton is I've been reading, and I'm gonna pull my books up. How to Break Up with Your Phone by Catherine Price. This book has been really awesome because it is what the title says, How to Break Up with Your Phone, and it's about your phone, but it's also like I found really about returning to simplicity and returning to mindfulness and returning to yourself consequently. And I found that the less time I spend with my phone, or the more mindful my time is with my phone, the more I'm actually getting to be reacquainted with myself and me as a person, and it's teaching me to love myself again. Something else that I've been doing a ton is yoga. I used to do a lot of yoga when I was younger, but kind of on and off again, and not really like a consistent practice. But I am working to, or I'm not working, that's the whole point, is that I'm not working, but I am slowly but surely adding it into my daily practice and really trying it to make it at least something I do 3 times a week, if not every day. And it has really made a difference. And I'll talk more about my experiences with that in a later video, but I think that's one of the things that has been helping me cultivate a peace in myself and really thinking about self-love as this spiritual practice and something that is reacquainting myself with my inner spirit and with who I am at my core and who I feel like God has fashioned and created me to be. And so the next resource that has been helping a lot is another book, and it's called Margin, and it's by Dr. Richard A. Swenson, and a spiritual Christian look at overwhelm and stress control and not having enough margin in our days and our spaces. And again, this idea of making space for yourself and returning to and tending to the spirit and the soul and the vessel that you are, and that God has created. And it's been really powerful and amazing, and I'm working through it and figuring it out, but I think that this is another resource that's helped me a lot. Another thing that has been helping a lot is I've been listening to this podcast called The Mindful Kind. It is so awesome because they're shorter, but it really is just like a podcast all about mindfulness and cultivating self-love and just mindfulness and just self-love. There's lots of podcasts out there that I think are really helpful and really great, but some of them I think are like a hybrid, so it's like mindfulness and like minimalism and like work ethic and like productivity, and so like it can be kind of all over the place. I really enjoy this one because it's just like all about simplifying and getting to yourself and connecting with yourself and being mindful in your everyday life. Realizing part of this self-love journey is that peace, and the foundation of this self-love journey has to be a reacquainting with myself. So those are just some of the resources that I have been using to help me and to kind of get a balance back into this thing. Let me know if you checked any of them out and they're helpful for you, but also I'd love to hear from you guys and see like what are some of the things that you do to practice self-love. How do you cultivate that space for yourself? What does that look like? Do you think that there's a connection between mindfulness and self-love, and how can we make that connection so that our self-love practices become more intentional and more intuitive and all of those things. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that it was helpful for you. I hope that you were inspired, and if so, please share it with a friend. I'd love to get this community growing and start really cultivating this self-love together, okay? And I'm sorry that I haven't been posting videos regularly, but now that I'm living on my own, which we'll talk about in another video, and now that I have space and time and I'm processing a lot of things and emotions, I feel like it's time to get this thing going again. Love you so much. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Dang, that camera battery's gonna die, and I'm not trying to stop it. I'm gonna let her go. I'm gonna let her go. Say bye, baby. Pin up your pillow. Look at this plant. This is Rocky. She needs some water. Dang, Rocky, you need some water, girl. She's thirsty. She's thirsty, y'all. Y'all ever just look at yourself and be like, dang. Okay, bye. I gotta go. The camera's gonna die.